Welcome to the London Outlook for Monday, the 27th of November 2023. Starting with the economic calendar, there are no red folder news events. We've got some medium impact news events that will occur during the New York session. Jumping into the charts, specifically GBPUSD starting on the daily. As you can see, we are in significant external range continuation momentum scenario, basically meaning that we're outside of the 4H ARL and we have to use the daily to anchor our targets. Our potential target is the structural liquidity sitting here on the daily, and the next target being the next structural liquidity on the daily right here. For today, this will be the target, and once the target is reached, we will we'll stop trading for the day. Going on to the 4-hour, as you can see, on Friday we took out the sink structure and we still heavily bullish with our bullish confirmed 4H market structure. Given the situation, IRL is not required and neither is 4H backing. Moving on to the 15-minute, what you can see is this is the current pro-trend leg. We do have 15-minute validated order flow right here in the form of a nice chain. So option 1 for potential new low of the day would be for price to come to this area and then continue up. So for a new London low of the day to form, this is where I'd expect it to form. And on the other hand, if the Asia low of the day actually holds, then I'm looking at the 5-minute, and on the 5-minute what you can see is there was no order flow shift, so this is all still part of the pro-trend leg, and there's these continued demand chains. If we anchor our fib from the current high of the day to the low of the day, then we can see that a good area to trade from is likely this OB, using what's above is liquidity in the leg to fuel the move to eventually reach this target. However, as usual, what we do have to wait for first is one side of the Asian range to be swept, which would likely be this. If not, it will be this, and if this low of the day is swept and we create a new low of the day, then I expect price to come somewhere here to then continue or resume the ERL continuation move. In terms of the pip range, from there to here is about 50 pips, and from here to the target is about 40 pips. So either way, this is sufficient daily range to reach targets, but we will have to reassess and reevaluate as we progress through the day. Okay, so that's GBPUSD. Then moving on to EURUSD. Starting with the 4-hour chart, what you can see is Friday, or rather last week Wednesday, and then Friday we resumed the pro-trend move, which again is significantly bullish, and we've got this 4H established market structure. And I guess the premise for the remainder of the day is to take out the IRL in here and reach this target. Since we are pro-trend, we're not too concerned about 4H OB backing. Moving on to the 30-minute, just to see what our current primary leg is, and if you look at this is essentially where we tapped the 4H pro-trend extreme, and from there we've been building this primary leg. And if you look at the 30-minute, you can see we've established quite nice order flow and demand chain. So from a 30-minute perspective, should price come down, although this is quite far, so I don't expect price to come down that far, but we can monitor and see, if order flow doesn't shift by the time we get to this point, this is a potential low of the day. The other alternative is on the 15-minute. Also, we've also got this demand chain, and similarly, provided that order flow doesn't shift against us before creating this new low of the day, this is a potential good area to enter from. And if the Asian range isn't broken, then this is extra liquidity for the idea to take this long based on a new London low of the day, and this will of course be the target for the day. I usually try and get a minimum of 1 to 3. Yeah, however, if that doesn't materialize and the Asian low of the day holds, let me just mark it up quickly. Low of the day Asia. So if that holds, then the premise is we've got this. So this is our primary leg. 5-minute order flow shifted. Then we had a 5-minute change of character right here, and we came down, but it's unclear what we're tapping. The windows of imbalances are also quite questionable. So although we have re-established our primary leg, I guess what we can say is we can go on the basis of this, with that being the break of structure. So if we are going to trade, we can long. We can long, and the way I do that is I'd probably go with this and cover the actual low for the day, and then target this. If we go on the premise that this is the primary leg, it's been re-established, and we've had this break of structure right here. Yeah, we can go on that idea. However, as usual, we'd need one side of the Asia range to be broken, and then we'll assess from there. However, at the moment, I'm quite leaning towards, because we had this body breaks here, validating that this is back in control, then we can somewhat say there is this demand chain right here. Demand chain. That demand chain right there, with all this IRL situated right here. However, given where we situated, I'd much prefer if all this is used as the liquidity with my low of the day around here. But while saying that as well, we've got to also consider the fact that there's a chance that 5-minute order flow shifts, and if that shifts, then that invalidates this idea to long. However, it can validate the 15-minute new low of the day, but we can adjust this depending on whether the Asia range is intact or not. Yeah, because if the Asia range is validated, then this demand chain is also validated. Sorry, I'm just seeing where are we anchoring our highs and lows of the day. So okay, so this makes sense of this. So this fib is anchored to Friday's New York session low to the extreme because this chain right here is associated to Friday's PA, hence why we're anchoring it like that. However, for the purposes of today, what we can see is that this demand chain was validated in this session, which would then mean that if this Asia range takes out the range high, then we can enter based on, I guess, I probably want to enter on a actual POI. However, there is a big one here, so we can enter here below this, all this liquidity with your stop here and that being the target. However, if that fails, then I think I'm far more comfortable with this being the new low of the day, because this chain and all these POIs are already established. Yeah, they were established prior to today, whereas this chain was established today, so it's more influential to the current high of the day. So this fib rather than this fib, because this fib is taking into account this POI. So I'm going to delete these right here, and if I'm going to support a new low of the day idea, then it would be from this POI rather than here. If we quickly look on the daily, this is the third day, and the same on GBPUSD, it's the third day, so we're not forced to play the reversal, which is good. Yeah, but that's currently how I view the markets. So as usual, waiting for one side of the Asia range to be liquidated, and then we'll assess from there. However, if we're seeing that the Asia range is not being liquidated, then we can consider placing our entries for placing our entries where we think the new low of the day is likely to form. Cool, so that brings me to the end of the London session conclusion of the outlook, and we'll chat again for the New York outlook.